So moving to a different continent now. Oh, thank you. Our next speaker is Blanka, and she's from the Czech Republic. She's actually a teacher at a Saturday school where it's accredited by the Czech government, and they teach about Czech history, language, politics, and so she's going to be sharing about the community at this school and some traditions and customs that she and her family celebrate.
Thank you. Okay, so I brought my daughter with me because sometimes I still struggle with English, as I mostly spend my time with the Czech community here, even though I'm here for 12 years already. And when we first moved to America, she was in the kindergarten, and we thought it would be nice to kind of keep the language, and we get together with the community, and we basically established the Czech School of California, which actually was later accredited. So last year the Czech School was celebrating 10 years in the Bay Area, and Eliška is the first accredited absolvent of the Czech School. And in the Czech School I taught almost all the grades, even adults. But right now I'm teaching the preschool, and I'm always trying to show the traditions, and because even though Czech Republic is a very small country, you almost would not find it if you look at the map of the Europe. You will be looking with the magnifying glass. You would have to use a magnifying glass to find it. And it has lots of traditions, cultures, lots of regions, and actually different areas. And I was thinking what kind of culture, tradition to show you, what is like a most thing. And I thought about Easter, because for the Czech Republic, the Easter tradition does not start on the Easter Sunday. It starts basically after Christmas, and there is lots of things going on. So there is actually the Christmas is until the January 6th in Czech Republic, so it goes longer. And then right after that, basically the Easter preparation starts. And so right now in Czech Republic they have lots of carnivals and masquerade balls, and because it's right now like a masopust, what they call, and it's like because there will be 40 days when the Jesus was fasting, so before that they have to eat a lot. So I think some cultures can relate to that before the fasting they have to eat a lot. And then we have lots of, while you're fasting, I don't think anybody fasts right now, but it used to be. So after that they have lots of other things that they pray a lot, and they kind of make themselves humble, and before the Easter comes. And on Easter it was celebrated very differently. So there is no hide the eggs in the grass and send kids to find them. So we don't have anything like that. So of course the eggs are the most
the most important thing.
The most important thing of the Easter, because it's the symbolism of the egg, of the reborn. And in Czech Republic the tradition is that basically the boys are going from house to house in similar tradition as in, like, here you have a trick-or-treating. They have woven sticks from the willow trees.
That I forgot to bring.
Which I use when I say it. which were used to whip the girls to have them be nice and youthful, and like because it's made out from the young
Willow branches.
willow branches, which are so the girls supposed to be, if they are whipped, they stay nice and beautiful, you know. And the girls are rewarding the boys with the beautiful painted eggs. And of course, when the boys are old enough, so they also get the glass of alcohol. And in some cultures, not some cultures, but some regions, the boys even, if they have a very special girl, they dunk a bucket of water over her. So you can end up changing your clothing like multiple times during the day. So, and the girls also tie a ribbon on the willow stick. So if the boy has lots of girls who visit it, so they have lots of ribbons and bows on their stick. And I brought with me a couple eggs. To be honest, when I was in Czech Republic, I never paid too much attention to different intricate patterns, but once we moved here, I was really trying to connect with the culture, and I was starting to look at the regions and how they painted the eggs. So in each region, they do the eggs differently. So the one thing, there are like two kind of eggs. The first one is like a hard-boiled egg, and it's painted usually with some non-invasive method, so you can eat it after it. But we also make eggs which are only the eggshells hollowed out. And kind of painted. And if you go to Czech Republic, you can basically find these eggs everywhere, and now it's become one of the souvenirs you can bring from Czech Republic. So this is one of the methods. So first I want to talk, you basically make a hole, it's a real eggshell. You make a hole in the eggshell and you blow out the inside, and then you have to kind of let it dry, in the motion let it dry, and then you paint it. So this is inspired by blue china. So actually at the beginning of the Easter, the blue color was kind of prohibited because it symbolized a funeral. But as tradition shifts and the other cultures, and they got the blue china porcelain, so they love it so much that they started decorating eggs with the blue china motifs. But they also developed a little bit, and all of the motifs you can see they have each own symbolism in the Easter. So, and these hollow eggs you can actually put like on a branches, like you don't decorate the tree like on a Christmas, but you have the branches in the vase, and then you can decorate it with the eggs. And it's the branches of a willow. Another way to decorate the eggs in other parts is to straw. To use the straw, and it's kind of a hard process. And I did not use the straw, but I used a string, like a balloon string. Ribbons. Yeah. It's like a plastic ribbon and a glue, because I'm trying also to teach it to kids and to get the straw and to kind of take the process to make it flatten. It takes a little long time. And you cut it into the pieces and you create ornaments like this. And I also used like
paneling, it's sticky.
This is from Dollar Tree. It's kind of like
it's a fake wood paneling.
Fake wood paneling, which I cut up into in a similar way when you like decorate the straws. These are very simple designs. You can find eggs which are designed like with the whole nativity scenes or anything like really intricate designs, and kind of the pieces like 1 millimeter. I don't know if you know the metric system, but I still didn't get the inches down, so I'm sorry. And that's they actually say that to create a straw eggs, it's like a most difficult technique, one of the regions. And another technique, it's the hot wax, drawing with the hot wax. So this is basically the crayons, you know, the crayons the kids use. So this is what you can create with the crayons.
Yeah.
So it's a melted crayon,
A bit
And-
of beeswax.
and I use it a little bit of beeswax to thin it out, but you can use it with the. You do not need to, and you melt the crayon, and then you use
Pin.
a pin, and you basically dip the pin in the crayon, and you create the wax. So it's kind of like a relief. It's
Really, yeah.
yeah, and you can use different colors. You can use it on different eggs, different patterns. Because the wax gets thinner, so it creates naturally like the line is like a drop design. It's like a line is on top, it's bigger, and then it's smaller. And basically, the most intricate designs, it's something you've maybe seen in other countries as well. So this is also the wax created, but you use a special stick, and you use the wax, beeswax, and you draw a design. Then you dip it in a
Dye.
dye. You first use like a yellow or something
Like
which is
this
really
does.
light. Then you draw more. Then you dip it in a like orange. Then you draw more. Dip it in a red. Draw more. Dip it in a black. And whatever is covered with the wax stays that color. So once you remove the wax, you got this design. And this takes, I think, the most of the time. It is the most time consuming because you always have to dip
It's 2
it.
hours per egg, it's crazy.
Or maybe more. So I actually fell in love with creating these eggs, and I started to doing the workshops for the eggs decoration in our communities. So usually in March I'm doing the workshop. This is the egg she made.
I need two. I need this one and I need this one. This one's less traditional, it's like more asymmetric.
Yeah.
Make it very nice.
Yeah, I didn't bring the one I created for 2020 where I forgot it at home.
Yeah.
Where we draw actually the
Person?
face person covered with the mask. So we were hunting those eggs. So, and I had one egg from 2021 where I had the
Stork.
stork with the bundle and name Eva.
Which is
And
She's here in a way.
she's running somewhere else over it. So this is the tradition I wanted to show you and kind of share with you. And
It's interesting how those techniques kind of permeate the region, not only Czech Republic, but for example, this batika, the last technique is common to Czech Republic, Poland, and Ukraine.
yeah, and they each have different designs and different colors. So once you see the egg, you can say which one is it from where, which region is it from. So I'm actually from region which is called Slovácko, and these they divide the egg in the odd number of sections.
So these are 5.
So this is 5. So you can find 3 or 5. And they use the red color as the last color, and they draw accents with the black or purple at the end. So this is how I can recognize. This is more like Valašsko
Malaysian.
region. So it's like if you see the egg, you can say where it's from. And there are other techniques for the eggs, and one which I never kind of got down, and I really want to learn it, but it's really hard. It's the one where you make holes in the egg. So imagine you have an eggshell, and you basically make so many holes in it that it looks like lace. That it's so, and you have already like a fragile egg, and it looks like lace. That I think they call it Madeira,
I don't know.
and that's a really intricate design. And when I was younger, I loved the eggs were like a resilient. So I made I took a wire, like a thin wire, and I basically weave the wire in a design around the eggshell. So
It's like a cage.
like a cage, but it was in a design, so it makes the design of the thin wire. And there are more techniques to decorate the eggs. One of the techniques that kids use in the school, and they love to do it, it's actually for the hard-boiled eggs. It's when you pick up the flowers, the first flowers they grow or start growing in March. You put them on the egg, and then you tighten it with the stockings. So basically, and then you boil it with
Dye.
no dye,
Onion
the
skins.
onion skins. Onion
Yeah.
skins. So if you have the red
Natural
onion,
coloring.
if you have the red onion and you use the onion skin, the red one, you get basically a natural dye, but it's not purple. It's a brown. It's okay, like a dark brown color, and it's all natural because you have the flowers, and then you dye it, and then you remove the flowers. It's basically, it looks like
Imprint.
dyed eggs, but it's edible everything, and it's very cool to do. Do you have your favorite technique for the eggs?
My favorite is the wax. The ones that take a really long time.
My favorite technique is using this shrink wrap thing you just put on and put in hot water.
It's done. Quick.
Is anyone trying to 3D print these eggs?
Well, not really. It's like it's hard to do a thin wall with you'll have like perhaps early F, but not colors. 3D printing colors is hard.
So it's fascinating. It's like in India we have rangoli, like you put the color in front of your house and that's how you show your artistic skills. Is this how like people show their artistic skills on how well or how differently they can color the eggs?
I don't know. I think it's more of the, Czech Republic has the 4 seasons, like we are basically on the same level as Canada. So you can imagine that the winter is really dark and long. And I think the one of why after the Christmas is over, the Easter starts is because it's still dark and cold. So they wanna have something like spirit up. So they have the musket balls and that thing. And then to kind of fill in, because they used have not to be in any television, so to fill their long dark nights. So they sit down next to a candle and decorate these eggs in preparation for the Easter when they pass it down. And it's kind of to show how rich is the girl, everything comes back to the girls, because the boys goes and they check the girls out, like it's part of the tradition. That's why the boys going out and they're checking the girls out. And if you hand them like a really nice egg, you're saying, yeah, I'm really skillful, I will be good, good to marry, So I think that was the part, like because the boys go in a group to imagine. So they goes house to house and she's handing the eggs she created. So imagine it's basically like if they are trying to check out the future wife, yeah.
How many eggs do you think you've made in your life?
We have like, the big box, the big plastic ones that have like, I don't know,
20.
48 eggs per thing. We have like 4 of those, and then there's several more unpainted. There's just eggshells. We made a lot.
Yeah, I'm struggling right now because in America they wash their eggs, like a super wash them, which they do not do in Europe, so the dyes do not catch. So the thing is, I'm trying to find the eggs we are not washed, so basically in some of the farmer's market or something, or we have our own chicken right now.
Do you have chickens?
No. Oh, you do?
Yeah, and a goat.
4-H.
Yeah,
4-H is
we are part of 4-H.
Marshall Park.
Oh, okay, got it.
In Marshall Cattle Park there is a farm like a community 4-H farm, so we have chicken. And so that's the one thing I actually struggle here, and it was like bringing me really crazy because the dye do not catch on the American eggs.
Then it's very pale and does not look good.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
And so to answer the questions, I think I created the most before my youngest was born. And definitely I will couple 100. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you gave him a really good egg.
I'm sorry, no. Yeah, I have to rectify that. And I think that's. Any other questions?
No, this was very interesting. We did not know about this tradition.
That's why I thought that might be interesting to mention.
Yeah, very fascinating.